Welcome to this section. In this lecture, we'll discuss regarding the various options that avails in your next-gen firewall. So with respect to Palo Alto Firewall, we'll talk about the concept of how to manage the logs for restricting any configuration changes, and also we'll talk about the managing configuration backups and restoring those configuration backups. So far, you have gone through a lot of configurations you've done with a lot of Palo Alto firewalls based technical topics. So it's always good to know the various process of making any sort of configuration backups and how to restore them. And also there is a feature called as managing the logs for restricting any configuration changes by multiple administrators at same point of time. So for that, let's use our notepad and write down some points over here. First of all, I want to explain the concept of how to manage the logs for any restricting configuration changes, right? Okay, so you can use the concept of, there is a icon called as a configuration log. So I'll just show you. So when you log into the Palo Alto firewall, so it's booted up, and when you log into this Palo Alto firewall, on the right hand side you see there is a log symbol, right? There's a configuration log symbol right here. So you can actually see that is right now the log is open, so it says there's no log is taken, and we can click to take a log. So once we click it, we see that I have option to take the log, right? So let's say I click on this take the log, and I can see there are two options as type I get, which is one type is commit log and one is config log, and accordingly I can write down a comment and I can click on OK to take the log. So once I do that, what happens is any other administrator will not be able to perform the changes at same point of time. So let's understand this, right? And then we will show you. Yep, so simple thing. So over here you understand that you can use this configuration log to prevent other administrators from changing the candidate config or from committing the configuration changes until you manually remove the log, or the firewall automatically removes it after a commit. So the idea is, I believe all of you know the concept of candidate config and running config. So candidate config is the candidate configuration. It is basically the temporary storage, right? Also you can say this is volatile. That means if the device reboots, then the configuration will be lost, right? So, or you can say before commit, right? So any configuration that you have done and you have not yet clicked on the commit button on the Palo Alto firewall, so anything that is there is called as a candidate config. All right, now once you click the commit, so after commit, once you click the commit button, right, the configurations moves to the running config. Okay, running config, so which is basically permanent storage, right, and which is non-volatile memory. Okay, so it is basically after config, after the commit option that you click. So the whole idea is, this lock ensures that the administrators cannot make any conflicting changes to the same settings or interdependent settings during concurrent login sessions. So might be at same point of time two administrators have logged into the particular firewall and they are making some changes, but if one of the admin has taken a lock and with a particular type, then the same operation for the same type will not be able to be performed by the other administrator. So generally when you click on this commit, so the firewall will queue the commit request. It will perform them in order that administrators initiate the commits, right? You can also view the commit status, made by multiple administrators in this task column over here. Right, so you can view the details about your current logs. For example, you can check whether any other administrators have set logs and rate comments they have entered to explain the logs. You can click the log, right, which is at the top of the screen, and adjacent number indicates the number of logs that has been currently taken. Right, as of now, no log has been taken. Right, so when you take a log, we get the selected as a type. So you can see that when I click on take a log, I see a type called as either as a commit or as a config. So commit means it will block any other administrators from committing any changes made to the candidate configuration. So it will block any other administrators from committing any changes made to the candidate configuration. Whereas if I change this type as config, it will block other administrators from changing the candidate configuration itself. Okay, so two separate things. So let me write down this key point over here. So when you take the log and select the log type, so you have got two types. One is your config. It says it will block other administrators from changing the candidate configuration. Okay, and when you say commit, it will block other administrators from committing changes. So basically it cannot click on the commit button, right? Committing changes which is made to the candidate configurations. Two separate things, right? So one is blocking any of the administrators from changing any candidate config itself. So whatever changes you want to make in the candidate config itself, that will not be happening by any other administrator if you take the config lock. Versus if you take the commit lock, it means you can make the candidate configuration changes, but you cannot save that. You cannot save that to the running config. Okay, so yeah, you can also unlock a configuration, right? So once you take a lock, let's say I take a commit lock, right? I take a commit lock, and let's say this is lock taken by main administrator, something like that. Okay, so click on OK, and you can see the lock has been taken, and you can see one lock has been taken as of now. That value appears over here. I can click on this and I can see the comment based on that, who has taken this lock, etc. Right, so if I have any other administrator account over here, if he logs in, then he cannot make any commit changes until I remove this particular lock. Okay, so to unlock a configuration, so only a super user or any administrator who locked the configuration can manually unlock it. However, the firewall automatically removes the lock after completing the commit operation. Okay, so if you make some commit operation over here, the firewall will automatically remove this particular lock. Alright, so I can actually click on this particular lock, right, and I can see logged in over here. I can select this and I can manually go ahead and remove this lock and unlock this for other administrators to make any commit changes, for example. We can configure the firewall to automatically apply a commit lock as well. So when you change the candidate config, when you make some changes to the candidate config, automatically the firewall can also apply a commit lock, and this setting applies to all the administrators. So we can go to the device section over here. I can go to the setup, and then we can select the management tab. Under the management tab, we'll add the general settings. So click on this gear icon for the general settings, and there is an option called as select this option called as automatically acquire commit lock. So I can select this, and it will automatically apply a commit lock when you as administrator change anything in the candidate configuration. Okay, so yeah, you can do that. All right, so I hope you understand the concept of what is the meaning of lock, right? How do you take it and what is the importance of it?